And it is now 10:30, and we will bring in our guest from our next school, the Gardner-Webb Running Bulldogs, head coach Trey Lamb, wide receiver Isaiah Gathings. Good morning, gentlemen. Great to have you with us. Really appreciate you taking the time. We'll go ahead and get started with you, Coach. If you can kind of open up and begin just with your thoughts on how everything's been going so far. And then Isaiah, we'll turn to you, get your thoughts. We'll take questions after that. So, Coach, go ahead and begin.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mark. Obviously, what we got coming down the pipe here in the spring, and our guys are super excited to play. You know, we practiced in the fall, play some games in the fall, and ended up falling through with some COVID on both ends. But our guys are pumped. We've had quite a few roster changes, you know, adding guys and losing guys. And if anything, I think this, 14-month period of no football, I got hired, I guess, a little over a year ago. It's given programs like us a little bit of an opportunity to catch up, with I think we've benefited probably as much as anyone from having time off, being able to do some things with our roster and kind of get our culture built from the ground up, our foundation where we want it. But, I'm very thankful to be a member of this conference. Kyle has done a great job of listening to the players, listening to us, listening to the ADs, making decisions, being decisive about playing in the spring. And our guys just want to play, man. They'll play anybody at this point. And our guys have been working hard. We probably practiced as many as 30 or 40 times to get ready for this spring. We're on our 12th practice yesterday, our 11th practice yesterday. We open up with Elon, who's a great CAA opponent, top 25 team in the country. And then, of course, we've got our conference schedule with Presbyterian thrown in there as well. So really excited about what we got going on and appreciative of the people in charge making decisions.
Thank you, Coach. Let's go ahead and bring in Isaiah real quick just to get your thoughts from the student-athlete perspective and just overall what it means to you and your teammates to be back playing.
Well, it means a lot. Not playing a game in, a little over a year. It's been feeling sort of weird. So I know me and my teammates are really anxious to get back out there and start playing. It's going to feel good to be back out there.
Thanks, Isaiah. We'll take questions for both Coach Trey Lamb and wide receiver Isaiah Gathings. Please enter your name in the chat box, and we'll take them as they come in. And our first questions are from Richard Walker. Go ahead, Richard.
Hi, Coach Lamb, Richard Walker, CarolinaSportsHub.com. I was wanting to go over some local players with you, just kind of their role and what you expect them to do with the team this year. And I've got a few names, but I guess starting with some of the returnees like Matthew Robinson, Devin Baldwin, Donnie Thompson, Stormy Mosteller, and Tremaine Booker.
Yeah, a lot of those guys are going to play for us. Matt Robinson will contribute to linebacker. He'll be a guy that plays on a lot of special teams, but he'll get some reps in at linebacker. Booker is a warehouse guy on the interior defensive line. We'll be in and out of 3 and 4 down front.
Unfortunately, cover your eyes.
Can we mute that? Okay. All right. You guys still hear me? Okay. Yeah. So Matt and Booker are both going to play a lot for us. Devin could earn the kickoff duty job. He's fighting for that. He's got the strongest leg of any of our specialists. And then who else did you ask about? Stormy Mosteller. We moved Stormy to tight end, and we were thin in that room, and he has actually come a long way. He's a big body, 6'5", 265 pounds, almost like an extra offensive tackle when we put him at tight end. I know he played tight end in high school. He likes to move, and he's going to do everything he can to help the team.
Donnie Thompson was the other veteran I was talking about, and I was also looking at some of your new guys like Jalen Graham, Christopher Richardson, Eli Brooks, Chase Marsh, Jordan Marshall, and Kendall Massey.
Right, yeah. Donnie, he'll contribute on the defensive front for us. He's been dealing with some nagging injuries, hadn't been able to practice a whole lot. Just adds a lot of character to our team, just a good guy. Freshman, okay. Jalen Graham is going to be special. I wouldn't be surprised if he is an all-conference type player one day, and he's on this call with us 3 years from now. really, really good player. Chris Richardson is another warehouse guy, local guy for us. You know, Crest High School is about 3 miles from our college, and we've recruited both those guys from there, and we make it a point to get guys in Cleveland County and in the North Carolina area to come to our team. Most of the guys are young. Most of those guys are walk-on guys for us, but if they continue to put in the work, they will earn jobs on our football team. Everybody adds value. If you don't add value, you're not going to be a part of the organization. So you're an asset or liability. So all those guys are assets, and all those guys will continue to add depth to our program.
And the other question I had is, obviously there's been a lot of attention focused on when you were getting ready to play Charlotte about the quarterback position. And again, now with some new guys in there, can you kind of talk about how that position is looking? And given that you have so much talent there, is there a possibility in which you get 2 of those guys on the field at the same time and do special looks and special plays with a multitude of candidates?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. The transfer we took from Pace University, he was an all-conference player at Division II level. Carlton Aiken is a really good player for us. He runs well, very athletic. You know, Tavon Bowers from Wake Forest transfer. He's also done some really good things for us, a solid player. And then freshman we signed from Gilbert, South Carolina, Gilbert High School, Ja Tolan. So we've got 3 really good quarterbacks that we feel like we could go into a game and compete with. And, you know, we transformed that room in the last year. You know, everybody that played in the game for Gardner-Webb in 2019 is gone. You know, Jordan Smith had a torn labrum. Kalen Whitlow graduated. And so those are the 2 guys you saw mostly for Gardner-Webb when Coach McCray was here his last year. And, you know, the 3 guys we got in here now are all dynamic. I want quarterbacks who can run. I want guys who can make all schedule plays. Those are must for the identity of the quarterback position. And when we got here as an offense, the number one thing we talked about doing was developing a physicality up front that we didn't have, and then developing a quarterback. And I think we've done both of those in the last 12 months.
All right, thank you, Richard. We're going to move on to Jason Brown from Spectrum News. He's got a question for both Isaiah and Coach. So, Jason, take it away.
Mark, thanks. Trey, good to see you. I know you talked about how all this time has allowed you to put your culture in and really develop some things in your program that you wanted to, even though you haven't played a game. I do wonder if you think there are benefits when you look at your schedule to having so many home games to start the season. I would think most coaches would jump at an opportunity to have something like that and really, you know, obviously in this situation from a health and safety standpoint, you're not traveling, and it gives you, you know, essentially a home field advantage.
Yeah, no question. You know, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have very many people in the stands because of, you know, the pandemic and where we're at. But we have 4 straight home games, and I told our team, like, it's set up for us right now. I mean, it's teed up. The ball's going to be in our court. We open 4 straight home games. We don't have to travel up north until April. We don't play at Monmouth. We don't play at Robert Morris till April. So we're not having to deal with some of the extreme temperatures and weather conditions that some of these other schools are dealing with opening up 4 games in North Carolina at home to start the season. I can't think of a better way we'd start off, you know, this era of Gardner-Webb football.
And then my other question obviously is for Isaiah. And, you know, Isaiah, when you look at what you were able to do, like you said, almost, you know, more than a year ago, how do you expect defenses to adjust to what you do? I mean, you had over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. They're going to be targeting you, so you have to be prepared. And so what adjustments do you plan that you're going to have to make when you face defenses come this spring?
Well, obviously, we have a great receiving core, so I feel like if, you know what I'm saying, the defense is keying on me, we can rely on our other receivers to, you know what I'm saying, make plays. And I trust my coaching staff too, also to game plan and get me involved in different situations to where they can't double me. So it's a lot of different things that go into that. But like I said, we have a great receiving core. and great coaching staff. So I just rely on them.
Thank you, Jason. Next questions are from Jacob Conley. Go ahead, Jacob.
Good morning, Coach. I touched on this with the commissioner a little bit earlier, but what do you see as the benefits as playing spring football now that the FBS is already done? Because normal Saturdays, even when you're fans within the Gardner-Webb footprint, you're competing with fans watching like Clemson and Duke and Carolina. Now, there's nothing else going on in this area as far as football wise. They can turn their focus in on Gardner-Webb. How do you see that as a positive for your program? And for you, Isaiah, do you see that as a positive for you going forward, knowing that you can put your best efforts on the field and all the focus will be on your FCS team?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. I joke around with our players and our coaching staff. We got to find a way to get on Sports Center every Sunday. So, we're the only show in town. This country loves football, and I think we're going to have a lot of people tuning in to watch us play that wouldn't normally do that. We're the only show on Saturdays if you're a football fan, and the ability to get on different networks and we're going to be all over Twitter and Instagram, and people are tuning into what we're doing. Another opportunity is for our players. You more eyes on you. We got certain guys on our team. I think to have a chance to play at the next level, it's a great opportunity to play 6 games in the spring to showcase their abilities. And then, obviously, if we get this thing rolling, how we want to get it rolling, we gain some positive momentum heading into the fall.
And Isaiah, can you address that too?
Yeah, I'll just piggyback off what Coach said. I feel like it's a great opportunity for us to do great things while other teams are playing. So it'll be more eyes on us. And also, I feel like us playing in the spring is going to give us momentum going into the fall. I feel like it's great for us to, if we do great things now, we can just carry momentum into the fall and also do great things there. So I feel like it's a momentum boost, and it's just great for us.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thanks, Jacob. Next is Zach Aldridge. Zach, go ahead, please.
Hey, Coach. Zach Aldridge with WCCB Charlotte. Playing in the spring, is it a different mentality? Is it a different feeling right now? Or now that you're here, now that you're together, now that you have those 6 games on the schedule, this is what it is. Is it just football at the end of the day now?
Yeah, it feels weird, but it feels the same. I know that doesn't really answer your question, but the weirdest part is we're in training camp and the guys are in class. That's the weirdest part. Typically, we're in training camp and they're around us, 6-8 hours a day. We're doing team meetings at night, team breakfast, meetings in the morning, practice in the afternoon, in a August training camp. Well, now these guys still have class, so we're only getting them for a window in the afternoons. But at the end of the day, we're going to keep it simple on offense and defense and let our guys go showcase their ability to plays. And, it's different, but it's the same. The same 11 guys are out there. It's 11 on 11. The field 53.5 yards wide. Everything's the same once you're between the lines, but I would say all the scheduling pieces of it, the time away from practice is different.
Does that maybe make the Gardner-Webb that we'll see this spring, will you look different the following fall when you get back onto a normal rotation, when you have more time to implement everything you want to do? Will it be different this year?
Yeah, I think it's, it's not an excuse for us not to play well or perform, but it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. I'd love to tell you we want to go out there and run a table and win a bunch of games, but I honestly, I expect us to compete and be pretty good. But at the same time, we haven't played a game in 15 months, and I don't know. We haven't scrimmaged anybody. All we've done is practice against ourselves. So it's very hard to gauge where you're at as a program. So we're putting all our eggs in one basket, and that's the first game we play against Elon. We're going to do everything in our power to go win that game, not look ahead. And then Sunday we'll flush it and then put all our focus on Presbyterian College, and then flush that one and go into our off week and then get ready for conference play. So I I tell our team, we are trying to win the conference in the spring. We're not looking ahead for year 2, year 3. This is not a rebuild. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I know if we just do some positive things this spring, that's the foundation we're looking to build. We don't want to be a flash in the pan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. We're going to go back to Jason Brown, who has one more for Coach. Jason.
Thanks, Mark. Coach, you talked about developing the quarterback position, what you want to have, in a QB. But I am curious, when you have a guy as your QB coach and Taylor Lamb, who folks around these parts remember very well from his days at Appalachian State, who was a dual threat quarterback. How has he helped in that development of your quarterback position?
Yeah, he and I, obviously he's my cousin, but we couldn't be more different. So, I'm more type A, get on your butt a little bit and get after you. He's got much more laid back personality. Nothing bothers him. He's even keel. He's the same every day. He's not an emotional person, and obviously he knows how to win. He won 50 ball games in 4 years as a starting quarterback, and the energy that he's giving those quarterbacks, just a sense of calmness and a sense of letting the game come to them, and not forcing the issue is rubbing off on our players. And I couldn't be more happy to have him on our coaching staff. Honestly, he's a winner. He knows what he's doing, and he's impacted those players a lot.
So then, just real quickly, you mentioned the dynamic and the difference between your personalities. How does that work in the coaches' meetings and on the field?
Well, it's great. I don't have to worry about those guys, and when you're the head coach, you got something that comes across your desk every 2 hours that you weren't expecting. And I couldn't imagine trying to coach, and I know a lot of guys do it, but I couldn't imagine trying to coach quarterbacks and be a head coach. It wouldn't be right to our program. They deserve, as you guys know, teams without quarterbacks are irrelevant teams. They don't get talked about. They don't win games. They're absolutely irrelevant teams if you don't have a quarterback. And we have developed that position, and Taylor deserves a lot of credit for that, being able to do that while I'm away. But we see the game in the same way. We've been raised around football by the same people. We believe in the same philosophy, same system. So we're speaking the same language. But the way he's handled those guys off the field has been spectacular.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, Jason. We're going to go back to Jacob Connolly with some additional questions.
Coach, you mentioned that you brought in some new transfers and things like that. Has it been difficult to build continuity when you maybe had a different look in the fall than you do this spring? And then what excites you the most about some of the new players you've brought in? And for you, Isaiah, have you been able to mold and mesh with them, your new teammates?
Yeah, well, it's number one, I think the addition of new players has been great, but subtraction of players made the biggest difference. Whether they were kicked off or they kicked themselves off or they didn't want to play anymore or they opted out, whatever whatever the circumstance was, we've got rid of some bad apples. And when you get the right people on the bus, your culture's different. And that's what the last 13 months have been for us, trying to find out the guys we can trust, the guys we can go to war with. Football, it is hard to win in Division I college football. It is hard to win. And I'd much rather do it with a group that I enjoy being around every day and a group that I trust. And if that trust is broken, it's hard to earn that back. So it was amazing when you lose a few guys, how much closer together a unit becomes. And I think the subtraction of guys has been more beneficial than anything. We've added a few, but I mean, not a crazy amount of guys. We've signed a bunch of freshmen. Probably only added 3 or 4 transfers, but they did well. The guys we've brought in have been humble, appreciative of the situation. Some of these, a lot of times we take a D1 guy, first thing they do is show up as an FCS school is where's my gear? Where's my dining hall? Where's this? Where's that? They just want. And I've been around this level of football for a long time. And the guys we signed and we vetted them out, made sure that they were team first guys. And we preach that organization is team above self at all costs. And your personal goals mean nothing if we don't win football games. So.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Jacob. And we'll go back to Richard Walker, who's got another question.
Coach Lamb, Richard Walker, CarolinaSportsHub.com. I know you talked about it before the Charlotte game, how excited you were to finally get to be a head coach. I know your personality has been infectious. I hear all the people at Gardner-Webb talk about how much you've reinvigorated the program. How challenging for you personally has it been to wait so long to finally get on the field as a head coach after waiting so long to get to be a head coach?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, head coach, whether you're playing games or not, that's, you get the same problems that whether you're playing or not, problems kind of go away when you start playing. So it's kind of going to be a relief that we can focus more on football and not the other stuff. But it's given me an opportunity to, reflect on myself, reflect on our staff, reflect on my role as a dad, a husband, and be with my family a little more. I got a wife that's 6 months pregnant, and I got a 1-year-old daughter. So been able to spend some time at home, been able to spend time with our players. We've been around each other a lot, and I wouldn't change these 13 months. I know we didn't get to play, but I can tell you we've grown as a program, and I've grown as a person. Our staff has grown and our players have grown. It's been growth since day one. But yeah, I'm excited to get out there. I'm excited to call plays again. That's what I've been missing, the itch to call plays. I play Madden against our players, coaches sometimes just to get the fix. But we're excited to get out there and showcase what we've been working on.
We got time for a couple more questions for both Coach Lamb and Isaiah Gathings. Isaiah, I'm going to throw two at you. First, which of your teammates are you looking forward to watching play the most this spring? And then, who in your mind has improved the most from 2019 that you're excited to watch?
That's a tough one right there. I'm really, we got a running back named Nari Gaither. I'm really looking forward to see him do work. He's been incredible in practice. He's a great team player, and he's a good leader also. And he just brings like a lot of energy at practice. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him, see what he does this time on the field. Because in practice, he's always, dancing around, having a good time. Then when we go to Skelly and team, he's always doing his thing out there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does when we play.
And this next question is for both of you. I'll start with Isaiah first. Just what is the thing you're looking forward to the most in that first game in a couple of weeks?
I'm just looking forward to getting back out there. It feels like it's been so long since we played a football game against somebody else other than our teammates. So really just getting back out there and being able to compete against a different team, really, that's really what I'm looking forward to, just getting back out there and getting a feel for the game again.
And Coach, you may have alluded it with your play calling, but first thing that you're looking forward to that first game of the year.
Yeah, I'm just looking for competition, man. I'm the most competitive guy. I'm one of the more competitive guys. When I walk in the room, I'm looking for competition, and I just want to see where we're at. I just want to see us compete. And I mean, if you're not in this business and you're not on a football team to compete, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. And I want to compete against somebody at their best, and I want to see how good we are, and watch our guys just lay it all on the line for each other, and for all the right reasons.
Well, I'm not seeing any more questions for either of you, so we'll let you go. But Coach, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I just thank you guys for your interest in our program. I know sometimes the media gets forgotten about, and coaches don't like dealing with the media, but I can tell you, I truly enjoy it. It's one of my favorite pieces of being a head coach is getting to talk with you guys. And I look forward to, over the next few years here, however long I'm here and we're here, I want to develop relationships with y'all. And I hope to see you at games. I hope to see you when we can get rid of these masks and be back together again. I know it's been difficult on you guys. I know it's been difficult on us as well, but I want to thank our commissioner. Thank you, Mark, for putting this together. Thankful for our SID department for getting us out there and creating an image and a brand for our program. And you guys deserve a lot of credit for that. So thank you for listening.
Well, thank you, Coach. We'll go ahead and let you and Isaiah go. We wish you all the best of luck in the spring, and we look forward to seeing you all soon.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you. That wraps up our session with Gardner-Webb. Thanks again to Coach Lamb and Isaiah Gathings. We will resume, I should say, in 5 minutes with Charleston.